before I begin my speech or telling my story, let me ask you a couple of questions. You might feel like. How many of you think we are here actually by coincidence on a sultry Saturday and not by plan of God? How many of you believe in determination or predetermination? How many of you actually think this is not karma, your fate, your luck, or your destiny to be here today? Mr. Toastmaster, fellow Toastmasters, and honored guests, including my wife. 5 years ago, to be exact, 2007, I had actually no idea what Toastmasters was. As Holly says, I'm a Toastmaster, I'm fearless. Well, I'm the other way. I was fearless, and that's why I became a Toastmaster. So that's why I look at it. In 2007, I used to work for Citibank in New York City. And I completed my project, and then my wife and I, we both moved to New Jersey, not for employment, for a better environment. I started working for a company called Bowker. It's a book publishing company, spelled B-O-W-K-E-R. Citibank spelled C-I-T-I-B-A-N-K. I want you to please note the words that I'm spelling for you so that you keep track of exactly where I'm going with my story. My colleague in the company, Bowker, actually was a Toastmasters member, so he invited me to one other club. I did go there. It was, I don't know the name of that club. I did not join it. Then I went to one other club, and I don't recall that name either. It was somewhere in New Brunswick. I didn't join that club either. But then I came to this club, and then right as soon as it was this very much location, as soon as I entered the door, I had this feeling, I'm going to join this club. The name of this club is Art Speaking. So the speaking has that letter that I'm referring to. I joined the club within 3 months. I think I've mentioned this before also. Within 3 months, I completed my CC. Why did I do so fast? Maybe I speak too fast. And as I've mentioned before, I sometimes gave 2 speeches in one meeting. I don't know how many of you are capable of doing it or are willing to do it. I did it by volunteer. You know, there was a slot open. I already gave my speech. Somebody did not show up. I said, you know, no big deal. I'll give another 10 minutes. No problem with that. At least I'll get credit for it. And I did. So I completed that, and things were going very smooth with me, my wife. Life was good. I was doing my speeches. Everything was happy and dandy. And then one day, I got a call from my brother, who lives in Chicago. He still lives in Chicago. This call was not a very happy call. He said my father, who in those days used to live in Chicago, was diagnosed with lung cancer. It was a very deep, intense emotion for me. I was in New Jersey, they were in Chicago, and I got this news that he doesn't have much time to live. Well, we all have limited time, but we did not know he had very limited time. My wife and I both decided that, you know, since he's there, we are here, we'll have to either go back and forth every now and then, take some time off from work, or we have another option, is just to completely relocate to Chicago. We chose the latter one. We did relocate to Chicago. In 2 months, my father passed away. It was a tragedy for the family. Everything was distracted. Everybody was shattered. We had no life to move on to. You know how emotions go. Your loved one, if they pass away out of the blue, you feel kind of hurt, and then you don't feel like moving forward with your track. But as I mentioned earlier, your karma, your luck, your fate sometimes takes you where you belong. Within 2 months after that, we decided to settle down in Chicago. We had an option to come back to New York, New Jersey, or just live in Chicago. We decided to live in Chicago. I started applying for jobs. I could have applied for any job, and I would have got any job. It's no big deal. I qualified for anything, just like most of you. I ended up getting a job with a university called Kaplan University. It's an online university. They do online courses. That's not what I'm here for. But again, make sure you're keeping the track of the companies that I work for. Kaplan starts with K-A-P-L-A-N. This is my 4th company that has a letter K in it. And I was not even sure at that time, why is this happening? What's the connection between me and all these companies? Just like, you know, while we're here, we have a connection too. I worked with that company for 2 years. Everything was doing fine. Then one day, my wife, her company decided to relocate her to either different state. It was either New York City or New Jersey. Luckily, coincidentally, since we lived here before, she decided to move here with that company, and I had to resign from my job from Kaplan and move to New Jersey. Now, in New Jersey, there are many companies that I could have worked for, but for some reason, I couldn't find a company that starts with the letter K or has a letter K in it. And I did not mention that on my resume, I did not mention this on my cover letter, but you might not believe this, but I did end up getting a job with New York Life in New York City. And I commute there every day, every morning, just to go to work. And the reason I picked that, it's not about the pay, it's not about the location. Somehow I just again felt that there's a letter K, and the letter K is in New York City also. And I could have got the job, New York Life, within New Jersey as well, but somehow I took the job because it had letter K in it. Now you might be thinking that I'm making all this up. I might very well be, but that's all true too. But as Mr. Toastmaster mentioned that I started with this club, and then I took a break, and then I'm again back at this club, that's not the full story of it. Within the last 5 years, I also joined 2 other clubs in Chicago. And this might shock you, surprise you, intrigue you, but that's very true, and you can track that also. There are many clubs, thousands of clubs in the entire state, in that city, in my area. The club that I chose to join was Oak Lawn Club. It has O-A-K-L-A-W, and that's how it's spelled. Well, since I commuted from Chicago to my work location, whenever I came back from work, they met every Thursday. I said, okay, fine, Oak Lawn Club, fine with me. I have no doubt. You know, it's the same club, same exact agenda, same procedure. I'll keep track of that. My job, same job, they moved the location from Chicago to Naperville. Now, Naperville is a suburb of Illinois. They also have many clubs. They have a Ward Beach club, they have a Naperville club. The club that I joined, now this is again, you know, it's not something, but I mentioned earlier, it's maybe my fate, luck, destiny. The club that I joined was Saturday morning workout club. So the word workout has K in it. And again, as you might be thinking, I am making this up myself, or I had to, but this is last 5 years. Last 5 years. If I go back 10 years, then I used to work for many companies, but out of that, I also became a real estate agent. Now, how many of you know a real estate company that starts with letter K? Can anybody name one? Yeah, that's where I joined. I could have joined Prudential, Remax, Century 21. There are millions of them. The company that I joined, or the company that picked me, was Keller Williams. So in conclusion, sometimes what we think, you know, the moral of the story is that do whatever you feel like doing, but make sure you keep track of whatever your favorite is. Sometimes, if I ask you what's your favorite number, then there needs to be a pattern of that. Whatever your favorite letter is, there needs to be a pattern of, you know, if you follow that track. So this club could not just be that, you know, you are fearless or you're Toastmaster, you're good with public speaking. I never had any problem with public speaking. The only reason I joined it because it was, I guess, in my luck, my fate, or I should say the end, in my destiny. Thank you very much.
Well, K is a very nice letter, I would say. So I think you're very lucky.